Welcome to the VarsityKansas.com Big Show. I am Joanna Chadwick of the Wichita Eagle and VarsityKansas.com. We are taping here at KSN. My guest today is Heights football coach Terry Harrison. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, let's look at your team right now. You're sitting at 6-2, final week of the regular season. And how do you feel like you guys are playing right now? I
think we're playing great. We've been good defensively all year long, and those guys are really peaking at the right time. And we've got a lot of guys filling in on the offensive side of the ball, but we're playing as a team right now, and we really embrace that kind of playing together and playing for each other, and we're excited about where we're at.
Talk about the offense. You guys have taken some hits. We've seen names come in, names go out, and it started right off the bat with Curtis Witten with his injury. And, I mean, it's tough to come back from that injury, but who are you able to count on now as we head into the postseason?
Well, right now we've certainly had to move people around. We've had several, like you mentioned, several injuries, but we've preached to our kids that it's kind of a next man up thing for us. Flo Parker stepped in and played quarterback. Trenton Autry had a concussion. He's now stepped in and playing some running back for us. Jermaine Wiley moved from one of our wing backs to our fullback position. And two of our other wing backs, Armand McCray and Trey King, they just played really well. I think Trey scored 12 touchdowns now. And, it's been fun to watch those guys that you don't necessarily know are going to be the guys you're counting on going into the season, at least not the level they are right now. And it's been fun to watch them play.
Well, it's fun, too, to have that depth because, I mean, clearly injuries have been an issue. I mean, you lost Curtis, too, and you lost another player to a knee injury.
Right, Alan Garrett, who replaced Curtis against Carroll Week 1, who's a senior. He tore his ACL the first play of the South game, which was the next game on a 7-yard run where he didn't get touched. It was just one of those freak accidents. That's everybody right now. And we kind of feel like if you're going to win a state championship or at least make a deep playoff run, you're going to have depth, and you've got to be able to count on those guys that are backups early or young guys that are coming off of JV the previous year, and that's what we've done.
Oh, that's great. Well, and you mentioned the defense. You went through a period where, was it 10 to 12 quarters that you did not allow a point? Talk about how well the defense was playing then, and really who are the players stepping up for you there?
It was 10 quarters going into East, and then the first 2 quarters of East, we held them to 1 yard, I think, of rushing or something like that. And they got a couple on Southeast, and they got a couple on us with that running back. Trey Griffin busted a couple on us. He's a very good player. But no, Dario Ammons has been a kid, obviously, that everyone knows about. Kyle Martin is an all-metro kid last year at linebacker. But, Carlos Taylor we have, he's a junior defensive lineman who plays right beside Dario. I would bet that there's not many interior 2D linemen that are as good as those two are across the state of Kansas. I think it'd be hard-pressed to find 2 guys that are as talented as those 2. But just several players. We've had kids step in. Garrison Freeman's a young kid who stepped in, who's starting for us. Creighton Sanders is a sophomore. Rasheed Arnold at corner. I mean, I could list them all, and I know I forgot someone, and I'll hear about it. But, man, they've just played. What they've done is play it as a unit, and they've really embraced that. There's no one guy that's really playing above the rest. They're doing it together.
Well, that is so important, especially heading this time of year. Now, you also had the tough position of taking over for Rick Wheeler, who, I mean, many consider – I mean, you almost have to kind of look at him with a little bit of awe. I know that people probably currently with kids in high school or who are currently in high school maybe don't remember the days when Heights was terrible. My husband played for Heights back in those days. I mean, I remember saying one time, yeah, well, he always said after you score a touchdown, act like you've been there before. How many times did they actually score? I don't know. I mean, they were not very good. And so you're in that position where you're a young guy and you take over for Rick. How has that been, being put in that position?
Well, it's kind of weird for me. I moved to Kansas late. I got to Kansas in 2001. So Heights has, from my experience in Kansas, Heights has always been a good program. So, I mean, although I understand that the past is what it was, but no, it's been great for me. When Coach Wheeler hired me to be a defensive coordinator, he knew that I wanted to be a head coach, and I don't know that necessarily we knew it would be this quick. But, for me, he's somebody that I count on as a mentor. He's been great to work for. But, no, it's certainly something. It's nice to have a guy right down the hallway from me that's probably the best coach in our building at some, or that someone that, what he's done for Kansas football and for the City League, getting help, at least being a part of, helping us become a respected league across the state of Kansas is, it's just it's something that I'm proud that he picked me to take over for him, and he's trusted me with this thing, and I take great pride in trying to keep it going, and I think our kids do as well.
That's great. We'll talk a little bit about Friday. Of course, this is a big game. It's been a big game now for quite a few years. But Heights versus Derby. What do you think you're going to see from Derby, and what do you guys have to be able to do against them?
Well, we're going to have to play great defense. They're so talented, and I mean, you hear about it all the time, the 8 or 9 or 20 Division I players or whatever it is they have right now. No, it's a big game, and we're going to have to play great defense. Offensively, we're going to have to take care of the ball, which when we've done that, we feel like we're a pretty good team too, and our kids understand that. But no, it's they're going to do what they do, and we're going to do what we do. That's kind of when you play teams that have been successful and that are playoff type teams, that's what you get. That's how you get good. You do what you do, and this is the time of year where you have to be clicking on all cylinders. And our plan is just to go in there and play together, not turn the ball over, and play good defense. It should be a fun one.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I know that. Thank you so much for being here, Coach. I sure do appreciate it. Good luck to you on Friday.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's take a look back at last week. It was an eventful one. State tennis, of course, was pushed to Sunday due to the weather. I went out to Garden City for state golf, covering Class 3-2-1A, where Cheney won, and Class 6A, where Mays took second. Cape Mount Carmel, they won the Class 5A title. 30 years since they won a girls' golf title. That's pretty impressive. And volleyball substates were this past Saturday. A lot of teams from the Wichita area heading to state on November 1st and 2nd. The City League is sending 4 teams, East, Northwest, Carroll, and Capon. And the Ark Valley Chisholm Trail League is sending 5 with Andover, McPherson, Rose Hill, Andover Central, and Mays, and Hillsboro. Hillsboro, out of the Central Kansas League, is hoping to win its 3rd straight volleyball title. They are hoping to do it, though, out of 2A this time instead of 3A, where they won the last 2. Cross-country regionals were also on Saturday. A lot of talent in the area there, too. Eisenhower girls won their regional. Mays South girls and boys, Carroll girls and boys, Winfield girls and boys, they all won, along with the Douglas girls and the Heston boys. So congratulations to those teams. Last week, week 8 of high school football, second week of district play, and there was a big one. It was Mays South versus Heston. Mays South with one loss, Heston unbeaten. And it was an incredible game. I mean, I saw so many chances that were stopped by great defensive plays. Ryan Shadler, who I've just always considered a great running back, the kid played amazing defense. He was key in multiple stops as Mays South really struggled to get that ball in, even though they were in the red zone. They finally did, though. They got 2 Chase Bell touchdowns, and they were able to eke out a win there out at Heston. Looking at this week, it's the final regular season games. We've got games on Thursday. It's Halloween. You will not see me dressing up, but if you'd like to, I'd love to see your pictures. And we've got games on Friday as well. The games on Thursday. How about Clearwater at Mulvane? This district is so tough. It's going to come down to points, and what a way to get into state. I mean, it's just the district system is so crazy. I know it's got plenty of detractors, but it is what it is. And boy, you got to win Friday night. You got to win Thursday night for these teams, or else they're not going to be able to go. We also have Garden Plain, who's playing host to Kingman. You know, Kingman is a team that really came on strong this year, and Garden Plain is in danger of not making the Class 3A playoffs. Also looking at Ark City playing West High with a chance to go to the 5A playoffs. Rose Hill, Trinity, Collegiate Augusta. This district is just a crazy district. How about Augusta, by the way? What a team. I will be writing about them for Thursday's Wichita Eagle on VarsityKansas.com, so check that out. But, you know, this is a district where points are also going to be key because 3 of those teams, not collegiate, are in the minus points. So it'll be very interesting to see how that one shakes out. Friday games, of course, Heights Derby is a big game. We also have Mays at Hutch. Hutchinson in danger of not going to the playoffs. Can you imagine Hutch not in the playoffs? But it's a possibility. They lost last week at Garden City. Mays High looking at trying to become the district champ. What an amazing turnaround for them. Well, it's not a turnaround, but what an amazing season. How about that? We also have Andover at Newton. Newton's one of those teams that's had a great season. And, you know, they have such a tough time in the ABCTL Division I, but they are so strong, and they play an unbeaten Andover team, which I really like that win that Andover got over Emporia. They were able to come back and get that one against definitely a quality opponent, and so that'll be a good matchup there. Capons at Andover Central. Campus and North play each other, and North has a really good shot here at getting into the playoffs for the second straight year. They've got to win, but there is a chance that even if they lose, they could still get into the playoffs. All right, well, state volleyball this weekend, state cross country this weekend. It's going to be an eventful week. Make sure to join me Wednesday from 1:30 to 2:30 for the VarsityKansas.com live chat. Thanks so much for watching.